Good evening. This is Stampin' Sunday Stamping. I always get them backwards. This is Sunday Stamping. And every Sunday at 7:30, I go live on my Facebook page and I share with you new projects I'm working on, new products, and even some techniques with you. My name is Jenna Moore, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, Canada, if you are new to my page. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to make sure that you are getting all the updates for new videos. I do post it or upload it to YouTube after it goes live on Facebook. Hi Debbie, thanks for watching and letting me know that you can see this. That really helps. I'm going to switch things around here for my view in a second, but before we get started, earlier today on my Facebook page I posted about winter activities, and if you were out today was pretty mild, I think, for a winter day, so let me know what you were up to today. Did you go for a walk, or did you stay inside? Maybe you were crafting or laying by a fire perhaps and reading a book. Today actually it was a lazy day, so I'll be upfront and honest with you. Yesterday my husband and I got our booster vaccines, and my arm is so sore today and I'm feeling a little tired, so if I look a little tired and I'm a little slow tonight, that would be the reason why. So I spent a lot of time this afternoon on the couch watching Netflix, which was okay. Janine, my YouTube channel, I'll post it below so that you can see it, but if you go to YouTube, you should be able to find it by searching Jenna's Crafting Studio. You should be able to do that there. But I will post the link after the video has ended so that you have it. Hi Jessie, hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to switch my camera view here so we can get crafting. Let's see. So tonight we are working with new product from the mini January to June 2022 catalog, which is chock full of bright, beautiful new designer series papers, as well as some beautiful spring themed products. So tonight we are looking at Sweet Talk Sweet, which is on page 8 and 9 of the catalog. And I'm going to show you some of the cards that I've made so far using everything in the suite. So this was a suite. When I looked at it, I thought, yeah, I have to have the whole suite. I need everything. So the nice thing about it in the catalog is if you want everything that's listed in the suite, you can order it with one item number in the catalog. So this one is 157629, and that gets you everything you see here. So to get started, I'm going to show you everything that is in the suite. So what we're going to work with mostly are the stamps and dies. So we have the Sweet Conversations stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. There are 17 stamps in the set, and I love this because it's got the little conversation hearts. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, but when I was a kid, I did not like these candies. Did you eat them? They taste too chalky for me. I don't know. That's my unpopular opinion for the night. Let me know what you think. And then we have the Sweetheart dies, which coordinate with the stamp set. So we have some hearts that will cut out the stamped images. There's also so many different heart dies. If you cut them all out, you would have so many dies, heart dies to work with. Then we have this cute little envelope, which I'm going to show you in our card tonight, a tag, and some flagged banners. So lots of dies. There's 16 dies here that go with the stamp set. Then we're also going to look at the designer series paper, which I absolutely love because it has purple in it. Purple is my favorite color. So I love that the Valentines paper in this catalog is not just pink and red, but it also has blue, yellow, green, and purple. So this is a Sweet Talk designer series paper. It's full of bold, beautiful patterns on one side and then more subtle designs on the other. Janine, you need everything. I know, right? This is one of those suites where I said, yes, I need everything. So that's what I did. I ordered the suite in one product number and good to go. I know. I keep telling myself that I'm going to behave and I'm not going to order the whole catalog, and then by the end of a catalog, I pretty much have everything. So I don't do very well in that sense. This suite also has 3D boxes, which are fun to work with. They would be great for little gifts for Valentine's Day, or even not just for Valentine's Day, but you could use them for all occasions. So I did put one together. It's got double-sided tape on it, so it goes together. Everything's scored. If I could figure out which end I'm supposed to open it. So this to me reminds me of candy boxes from when I was a kid. Maybe those Popeye cigarette boxes, which again is one of those weird childhood candies. But anyways, they come together quite easily. And you could decorate these, I believe, I don't have a card with me right now, but I'm sure that these would fit a gift card. So they would make a nice gift if you had a gift card that you wanted to send somebody, and then stick some kind of narrow treats in there. Probably the Ghirardelli squares would fit in here, and then you could wrap it up with either this designer series paper or one of the other beautiful designer series papers in the catalog, and just make the card right on top of the box, and then it's good to go. Don't even need to wrap it. So in here you get 10 of these boxes, and they are food safe, so you can put in little treats in there if you want to. And then the last two, oh, there's 3 things. So there is an embossing folder in this suite. This is the gingham embossing folder. I've used this on one of the samples I'm going to show you tonight. This is one of our regular embossing folders, so it goes in a die cutting machine with just a regular sandwich. And then there are 2 embellishments in the suite. So I've used quite a few of these already. These are the iridescent rhinestones, so you can see they do have some color to them. These would be great for all sorts of projects, not just limited to this suite. I'm hoping that these carry over into the annual catalog, because they're just great, great embellishments to have on hand. And I always like to have rhinestones of different colors on hand, so it's nice that these are iridescent. And then we do have a ribbon. This is called the Faux linen ribbon, and I've tied a few bows with this ribbon already. To me, it's very easy to work with. It's almost like butter. It is linen feeling, and as you can see, the bows just come together really nicely, and the fabric just lays very nicely. And of course, it's real red, so it coordinates with the colors in the designer series paper. So I will be working with, I think, the rhinestones. We'll add some rhinestones in any case to the project I have tonight. And while we're on the theme of the suite, so the suite is $117.50 Canadian. If you added, $2.50, that would bring you up to $120. That would get you 2 level 1 rewards in the Celebration catalog, or one of the level 2s. So you again would be getting free product with that suite. So this Celebration catalog goes to the end of February. It's while supplies last, and it is chock full of some fun. This is one of my favorites, this Island Vibes. Again, Hawaiian. If you watched last week, my love for Hawaii is never ending. We have some fun papers, and I really love this paper. This is the rainbow paper that I will be showing you with another suite or bundle from the mini catalog. So if you need catalogs and you haven't received one already, let me know and I can arrange to get these 2 catalogs to you. But now we will get crafting. So first I'm going to show you a couple of other samples that I've made with this suite. So this first one here, I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a bit. So this one here is actually what we call a case. So it's a copy and share everything right from the catalog. So one of the designer series papers has these conversation hearts that coordinate with the dies, and I cut out a bunch of those conversation hearts. I'm just trying to find the piece of paper that I cut them out from. So you can see this is my holy paper that was left. But you just take the dies right on the designer series paper and pop them through your die cutting machine, and you end up with all these fun conversation hearts. The only stamping I did was the banner, Happy Valentine's Day in Highland Heather. And then another piece, actually the back side of this piece of designer series paper is the one here. I used the gingham embossing folder on this card. So not only does a catalog give you, all the products that you could need and want, but it also gives you great ideas to make cards. So you could take, any of the card layouts and create with them using whatever products you have on hand. It doesn't have to be these products here. You could swap them out for whatever you have on hand. So there's that one. Then I did this one. So this one is actually created by Anne Granger, who is the leader of our Stamp to Create group. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee here. And she created this card this week for one of our team Stampin' chats. And so, again, using the designer series paper, one of the labels, this faux linen ribbon, and then some stamping with the heart, and again, the Happy Valentines. So if you didn't want to use the Happy Valentine's Day, and actually what I'm going to show you, this paper that I cut all these conversation hearts out of, I decided I wanted to use it as a mask with my blending brushes. So this other sample I'm going to show you. So I'm not sure how well this shows up on video, but what I did is I used this as a mask. I probably did it this way. So I held it over the white piece of paper. So you want to do this before you glue everything together. Take your piece of basic white, lay the mask over it. I put down some washi tape, and then I used our blending brushes with Pool Party ink, and I made this fun background with the hearts. So I did that, and then again used some designer series paper, pulled in the coordinating colors, Petal Pink and Pool Party. And then I used a different ribbon. This is the white organdy ribbon. This was in the mini July to December catalog, and it has actually carried over. So it is still available, and I love it because it's got some glitter on it, and it's white so it coordinates with any project. So I'm going to zoom back out here, and I'm going to show you the sample of the card that we're making tonight, if I can find it. So I decided to do this card. This one is not Valentine's Day themed. It's more for a friend. So the sentiments in the stamp set, the two that we're using tonight, one's a conversation heart that says BFF, best friends for life, or best friends forever, I guess. I don't know. I'm not hip to the lingo. And then this one that says happy to have you in my life. So this sentiment you could use, for any occasion, for any person that's special in your life. So we are going to get started with this one. Just going to zoom out a little bit more here. Okay, so I have all my pieces. For the sake of time, I've pre-cut quite a few of the pieces, as much as I could. So I've pulled all the colors again from the coordinating colors in the designer series paper. So we're starting with a basic card base. This is in Pool Party, and it's cut in the basic card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So one 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock cut in half, and then scored at 4 1/4 with my trimmer. I'm not sure why the camera keeps going out of focus, but anyways. Then I have a piece of the designer series paper. So it's all of these beautiful colors on one side. So this is definitely doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. The other side definitely is. So depending on what project you're working on, that's going to determine what side of the designer series paper you're using. And I know someone will ask for the measurements. This one is 4 3/4 by 3.5. I didn't write down my measurements. Then I have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock. This is the piece that we're going to emboss, and we're going to use actually a different embossing folder. This one is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Then I have a scrap piece of basic white because we need this for our postage stamp and the BFF heart. And then I cut out with the die. So this is the envelope. This is this die here, and it cuts and scores. So all the score lines are on there, and all you have to do is fold in 3 of the corners to make that cute little envelope. And then I have cut out of real red cardstock this die here, which not only cuts out these beautiful hearts, but it also gives you the inside of the heart. So like I said, with the dies, you end up with a whole bunch of different sized hearts that you can use for any card. So you've got those. And then the last piece I cut out from Pool Party, this banner here, which we're gonna use sort of as a decorative element. So let's get started. First I'm actually do some stamping and cutting first. So to make the postage stamp here, I've actually pulled one of our punches from the annual catalog. This is called the rectangular postage punch, and I'm going to make it into a square instead. So to do that, I'm actually going to punch out of my basic white scrap the rectangle, and then this is the tricky part. Hopefully I can do this live on video. I'm going to stick it back in the punch, whichever way is going to let me do it. Okay, this worked for me earlier, so I'm going to push it in as far as I want it. So I'm going to try to make it as square as I can. Post-it notes come in handy for this. No, that's not square enough. There we go. So you just punch it twice to get the square. So we're going to stamp on that, and we're also going to take that scrap back and stamp the heart and then die cut it. So I've got my Pierce mat with a piece of grid paper on here, and I'm using Highland Heather, which again is one of the coordinating colors. I'm going to stamp on the postage stamp first. So I've got one of the hearts from this stamp set. I'm just looking here. So it's this big one here. There's 3 different sizes of the stamps, and then I've got this stamp that says "Happy to have you in my life" on the other side. So I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather. I'm actually going to stamp off and then stamp on my postage stamp, and that just gives me a lighter shade of Highland Heather, because then I'm going to go back in with my sentiment and I'm going to stamp over top full strength, and then that way you can just see the image better. This isn't, of course, going to focus, so hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp with the BFF heart on my scrap. I'm just going to trim this scrap here so that I don't have to stick the whole thing in my mini cut and emboss machine. So we'll get this out of the way. That's the only stamping we're going to do. And then we're also going to emboss this piece of petal pink. So instead of using the gingham embossing folder, which is in the suite, I've actually chosen the Dotty Hearts. And I'm just looking because this Dotty Hearts is in the annual catalog. It's a 2-pack of mini embossing folders, so these will fit in the mini cut and emboss machine, and you get 2 designs. So there's this one here, which I used on this sample, and if you bear with me, I'm going to grab the other one. This is the other design, which we're going to use on the card that we're making now. So they have sort of like, it almost looks like a stitched Dotty hearts. I guess that would make sense. So they're little dots that make up the hearts. So let's get our mini cut and emboss machine out. First I'm going to emboss this piece here. So I'm going to stick it in between the embossing folder, and I'm going to grab my base plate and then one of the embossing plates. So you get 2 embossing plates with the mini cut and emboss machine, and they say right on them, this one is for 3D embossing folders, which these embossing folders are not. So I want this one, which says using with standard embossing folders. So I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to crank this through the machine. Pull that out. So hopefully you can, if I can get this to go. There we go. So you can see the dotty pattern in the hearts on that piece. And then I'm also going to cut out the heart. So for die cutting, I'm using my base plate, my 2 clear die cutting plates. And then I'm going to find the heart that coordinates with the stamped image, and I'm actually going to pull a piece of the Post-it tape. Pull this more into view. So I've got the heart there, and then I'm going to tape down the die, and then I'm going to die cut that. And then we're good to go. I'm going to pop that out. Put these aside. Okay, so now we're going to put everything together. So I've got my card base. I'm going to fold it in half and then use my handy bone folder to burnish that edge. And then we're going to layer our pieces of paper. So first I'm going to start with my designer series paper. I'm just going to use Stampin' Steel for that. I'm going to put it on an angle like this. This piece of designer series paper has lots of the coordinating colors, so you could use any of the coordinating colors as your card base and it would coordinate. Then I'm going to take the Stampin' Seal and glue down the embossing folder, and I'm going to angle it the other way. So because of the lighting, it's kind of hard to see, but hopefully you can see that pattern there. So that's the one, there we go. That's the one embossing folder, and I'll show you on the sample that this is the other one. Okay. And again, those are in the annual catalog, not in the new catalog. Then we're going to take our little envelope, and for this I'm going to use their liquid Tombow glue, and I'm going to glue, how do I want this? I think I'm going to glue it this way. So you just want the glue where you want the envelope to close, and just hold that there for a bit. Then I'm going to pop our BFF heart with a dimensional, sort of tucked within the envelope. And then I'm going to glue this down with Stampin' Seal. You could also use the liquid glue if you wanted to. I'm just going to put that in the corner. And I'm going to take, so if I was thinking ahead, I would have used the adhesive sheets on this die, because then I would have the adhesive already on this die as well as all of the little hearts. But like I've told you before, it's usually an afterthought. So I'm going to use liquid glue. It works just as well. And I'm just going to put some around the edges of the hearts and then glue this right on my pool party banner. There we go. And then I'm actually going to take the banner with some Stampin' Seal and glue that right here. So we're just layering a whole bunch of pieces together. Now we're going to take our postage stamp, which has the greeting on it, and again I'm going to pop it up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I love how using the rectangular postage with the envelope just makes it like it's fun Happy Mail. They just coordinate together so well, even within two different catalogs. And then we're going to embellish with these hearts. So I'm not going to use all of them, but I am going to use a few, and I'm going to use liquid glue on the back. So this here, I just kind of put in the seam of the envelope, and then I'm going to put a few on the card. And you could, of course, keep these, the hearts that you don't use for other projects. I actually have, when I was showing you that conversation heart card, I actually had a bunch of hearts left over. So these I would just stick in a little Ziploc bag, and I would just hold them for another project. So the hearts I don't use from these, I would do the same. So we've got two there. I think that's enough. And then we will embellish with some of these rhinestones. And use my Take-A-Pick tool with the putty end. Pick up some of these. There's 3 different sizes of these rhinestones. So depending on where you want them, I'm actually going to use all 3 different sizes. And there we go. And I just add some fun bling to that card. So this, again, is a great card for a friend in your life. Maybe not, you know, a Valentine necessarily, but somebody who you appreciate in your life that deserves some Happy Mail. So I hope that you have enjoyed all of the cards that I've shared with you tonight. If you have any questions about any of the products or the techniques that I've used on any of these cards, please feel free to drop me a comment or send me a message and let me know. If you have questions about the Sweet Talk Suite or about Celebration, again, please just let me know. Or you can visit my website, which is jenniscraftingstudio.com. There is an email link in there, and you can sign up for my newsletter as well. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great night and a great week ahead. Try to stay warm and dry. Take care, everyone. Bye now.